My first question is to Hamid Mir of GeoTV joining us live from Sharm el Sheikh. Hamid Mir, thanks for coming on the Newshour. Is this a victory for Gilani?
No, I think it's not a victory for Gilani. It's not a defeat for Mr. Manmohan Singh. It's a victory for peace process in the South Asia. And we should not underestimate the joint declaration. I think that it's a move forward. Yes, it's true that Mr. Manmohan Singh he showed some flexibility, but we should not say that this is a defeat for India and victory for Mr. Gilani. I think that Mr. Manmohan Singh showed some flexibility. He sacrificed something for some big gains in coming few weeks or coming few months. Today it was Manmohan Singh who showed some flexibility, and tomorrow or day after tomorrow Prime Minister Gilani will also sacrifice something. So it's give and take, and I think that this is the victory of peace.
Okay, I just want you to elaborate on one thing. What do you think is the big thing that, in your view, Hamid Mir, Manmohan Singh sacrificed from the Pakistani perspective?
Yes, I think that in Russia, when he met Pakistani President Mr. Asif Ali Zardari, at that time he bracketed the peace talks, the peace process with the Mumbai attacks, and he was not ready to speak on any other outstanding issues. But in this statement, he agreed, and he clearly said that India is ready to speak on all the outstanding issues. And now the peace process is not bracketed only with the Mumbai attacks. And as a Pakistani analyst, and from the Pakistani point of view, the mention of the Balochistan in this declaration is also the vindication of the Pakistani point of view, that there are some problems in Balochistan, and some people or some neighboring countries are using the territory of Afghanistan to destabilize Pakistan. So I think that this is a great realization, and in coming few weeks or coming few months, I hope that India and Pakistan will start a composite dialogue.
Yeah, but you know, there is a difference, Hamid. You would have noticed, since you know what happened at both the press conferences. On that, I'm going to my second guest, Tariq Azim, from Islamabad today. You know, Mr. Azim, you listen to what Hamid Mir says. Yes, to an extent he's right. But when the two prime ministers came out is when the joint declaration was really seemed to be being torn to bits, because the prime minister said that unless you have action, you know, on the sources of terror, there are going to be no talks. So it was back to square one. So in a way, nothing really changed. When you had the press conference, the Prime Minister of India, without any duress, on his own, made the clarification which seemed to be going against what was said in the text of the joint statement.
I think with respect, your headlines are misleading when you say Pakistan claims victory. It is not victory for anybody. If there is a victory, it is victory for common sense. And I think it's a victory for 1.5 billion people of India-Pakistan subcontinent. This is something that we have been saying all along, that we will not do it under coercion. We are not doing it to please India. If we are fighting terrorism, we are fighting it for our own sake. Pakistan has suffered more than any other nation.
I agree with you, totally agree with you. But as I asked one of my guests earlier, Mr. Azim, and on that, I'm going to General Shankar Prasad, you know, before I go back to Hamid Mir. General Shankar Prasad, you remember in Havana about 3 years back, Hamid Mir also remembers, that there was this, so you know, huge, great excitement about the joint terror mechanism which was spoken about. What did that lead to? Nothing, absolutely nothing, just more finger pointing. So similarly, if you say we're going to exchange real-time intelligence information, what does it amount to really, when you don't even look at the dossier that's supplied to you after 26/11?
It means nothing at all. As far as I can understand, what the ticker is showing on your medium is that the Prime Minister has categorically stated that unless terror and terror mechanism in Pakistan is dismantled, composite dialogue or any kind of talks are not possible. This is what our Foreign Secretary also said this morning. The amazing thing is that we had round one of the boxing match in Ekaterinburg in Russia, where so-called India had a victory. And now suddenly in round two, we discover that Pakistan has had a victory. I really wonder who the referee in this boxing match is. The point is simple, that in Russia, our Prime Minister made a statement which was heard by the press, and that gave a big kind of a slap to the Pakistan president and his team, that they were not able to manage the entire dialogue. And this time, of course, when they sent Prime Minister Gilani Obviously, the Pakistan Army Chief and his ISI and the rest of the team has briefed them so well to so project itself as if they've had a diplomatic success. The points India is making is very clear, and the Prime Minister is saying it continuously, that unless you handle terrorism, unless you bring perpetrators of Mumbai to books, unless you handle Hafiz Saeed back into the law, nothing can happen. Now, look at what Pakistan has done.
Let me get Hamid to respond to you, sir. No, let me get Hamid to respond to you, sir.
What kind of message is being sent to
Let
India?
me get a
What kind of
Pakistani
message is being sent to the world?
General Prasad.
I think we are missing a very important point here.
Yeah. Yes,
we are missing a very important point here. And that is, for the first time, India has accepted Pakistan's case that India also has a case to answer. Its involvement in Malakand, its involvement in Balochistan. For every one Hafiz Saeed we have got in Pakistan, you got at least a dozen Hafiz Saeed sitting in India who are trying to destabilize Pakistan. Now, this is a case that I think India has understood, and I think Pakistan also wants that this understanding has to be reached so that both parties can sit together and try to get rid of this evil.
Hamid, tell me, aren't we getting, instead of a solution, aren't we getting into a more severe tit-for-tat, verbal tit-for-tat in weeks to come?
Absolutely not.
I think India has got it wrong. With each other.
India has got it wrong. What we need to do is see it as victory for nobody, victory for those people who want peace in this region. If it is at all is a defeat, it's a defeat for those people who do not want peace in Pakistan and India. They don't want any talks between Pakistan and India.
If I were to even take that point, yes, Hamid.
Yes, I think we should not try to point scores against each other. We should not fight against each other. I know I am here in Sharm el Sheikh, and I am aware that there was some point, a stage when there was a great threat for the collapse of the talks. And Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, he saved the peace process. And I think that today he behaved like a statesman. He behaved like a visionary. I appreciate his spirit, and I am telling you that in coming few days you will realize that Prime Minister Manmohan Singh actually saved the peace process in South Asia, and that's why today I have a lot of respect for Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, and I must say it again and again, he is a great visionary and he behaved like a great statesman.
Okay, now there's a strong certificate of approval from Hamid Mir. And generally, that's been the Pakistani reaction. We don't know where this is going to go. But clearly, when this joint statement is going to be looked at, how much has really been achieved needs to be deconstructed. We'll look at where this goes. Just one last question. General Prasad, aren't you worried that at the end of the day, all of this is hostage to one more terror attack? That, the real work goes beyond words.
Absolutely. We have intelligence reports lurking at us to say that there is a terrorist incident just on our doorsteps in the western coastline.
Right.
This is not a report that has been initiated or fabricated by an Indian agency. Right. This is a report that is emanated from a very well-known source which all of us are aware of. The fact is that how long are we going to go on talking on these matters without any evidence being shown by Pakistan that they want to fight terror? Just in the last 1 week, the kind of activity that we have seen on the line of control in Kashmir is enough evidence to show that Pakistan Army and Pakistan ISI continues to support terrorism.
Because I'm running short of time, I just want to say one thing.
That unless you resolve Kashmir, terrorism will continue.
Mr. Prasad, General Prasad,
I understand that terrorism is state-sponsored.
General Prasad, at the end of the day, we therefore have two perspectives. One, that there has been great statesmanship by India and Pakistan today in Sharm el Sheikh. The other is that this is all hostage, still very much to terror. On those 2 points, thanks very much to all my guests for joining me on the News Hour.